Let me ask you something. What if a regular firefighter on a pretty modest salary could end up way wealthier than most doctors or lawyers? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But it's totally possible. And it's all thanks to a financial force so powerful, it's been called the eighth wonder of the world. Let's dive in and see how it really works.
So let's just get right to the big question. Can you really, truly turn an ordinary salary into an extraordinary fortune? I'm not talking about winning the lottery or some lucky inheritance. I mean a strategy that anyone, and I mean anyone, can use. The answer is a huge, resounding yes. And we're going to show you exactly how.
Okay, so picture this. We've got our hero, a 20-year-old firefighter who's just starting out in his dream job. He's not making a ton of money, but he's smart. He has a simple goal. He wants to save 1 lakh rupees, that's 100,000 rupees every single year for his retirement. Seems like a solid plan, right? But where he decides to put that money, well, that's going to change absolutely everything.
So, here are the numbers. He's 20, he's a firefighter, he's going to save 1 lakh rupees a year for the next 50 years. It's straightforward. But remember, how much you save is only part of the story. How you save it, now that's where the real magic is. That choice is the key to this whole thing.
All right, now this is where it gets really, really interesting. We're going to follow our firefighter down 4 completely different paths. Each one is a different investment strategy. Let's see how these choices play out and shape his entire financial future. So, path number 1. This is the super safe route, the I don't trust anyone approach. Imagine him just taking that cash every year and literally tucking it under his mattress. Sure, it's safe, but it's also completely cut off from any kind of growth. After 50 years of doing this, with a 0% return, what do you think he has? He ends up with 50 lakhs, exactly what he put in. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money, but his money didn't do any work for him at all. It just sat there. I think we can do better. Let's look at another way. Okay, let's move on to something a little more common. Path 2. This time, he invests in things like bonds or maybe some real estate, assets that historically tend to grow right around the same rate as inflation. We'll be conservative and say he gets an average return of about 3% a year. And whoa, what a difference that tiny percentage makes. With just a 3% return, his savings ballooned to over 1.1 crores. That's more than double the mattress method. See? That little bit of return has a huge impact. But what happens if we take on a little more risk for a better return? Welcome to Path 3, the stock market. I know, it sounds risky, it goes up, it goes down, the news can be terrifying. But if you look at the long-term history, the stock market as a whole grows as the economy grows. On average, that's been about 10% a year. And the result of that 10%? It is absolutely staggering. 11.63 crores. We're not just talking about a comfortable retirement anymore. This is life-changing generational wealth. That jump from 3% to 10% didn't just add to his savings. It multiplied them big time. This is where you can really feel the magic happening. But hold on, there's one final path. Now, this isn't for everyone. This is for the truly dedicated. Let's say our firefighter really puts in the time. He studies, he does his homework, he becomes a brilliant stock picker. And he manages to achieve an incredible 20% annual return. It's really, really hard to do, but for legendary investors like Warren Buffett, it's been a reality. The final number here is just mind-blowing. 454 crores. Let that sink in for a second. From saving just 1 lakh rupees a year. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's the pure mathematical power of high returns compounded over a lifetime. Just look at this chart. It tells the whole story, doesn't it? The first bar, the under-the-mattress money, you can barely even see it. Each step up is a big jump, but that last leap is it's on another planet. This incredible growth, it's not some trick, it's a fundamental principle of finance. Let's pull back the curtain and see what it is. So what is this magic we keep talking about? It's not magic at all, really. It's a financial principle called compounding. This is the engine that took our firefighter from a simple savings plan to an unbelievable fortune. So let's break down what it actually is. You know, the easiest way to think about it, it's your money making its own money. See, you don't just earn a return on the money you save, you earn a return on the returns you've already made. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but it picks up more and more snow, getting bigger, faster and faster. It's an exponential curve. And this is probably the most important takeaway. A few percentage points, it really doesn't feel like a big deal day to day, does it? But over 50 years, the power of compounding turns that tiny difference into a life-altering chasm. It's the gap between doing okay and holy cow, I'm rich. Okay, so a high rate of return is obviously a huge deal, but there's another factor at play here. And honestly, it might be even more powerful. It's the one resource we can never, ever get back: time. Let's see what happens if our firefighter just waits a few years to get started. Oof, these numbers tell a pretty brutal story. If you start at age 45, you still end up with almost 11 lakhs. Not bad. But look what happens if you start just 10 years earlier, at 35. The number more than doubles to 28 lakhs. Start at 25, it more than doubles again to almost 73 lakhs. Every decade you wait costs you more than half your potential wealth. But now, check out the ultimate advantage. And here it is. What if you started at just 15 years old? The final number just explodes. It goes to almost 1.9 crores. Those extra 10 years at the very beginning, when the snowball is smallest, are actually the most powerful years of all. It gives you a head start that is almost impossible to make up for later. So, after seeing all these incredible numbers and walking down all those different paths, what's the big takeaway here? What does it all mean for you? It really just boils down to two simple but unbelievably important keys to building wealth for yourself. It really is this simple. Number one, you have to earn the highest rate of return you possibly can. As we saw, the difference between 3% and 10% isn't a gap, it's a canyon. And number two, start as early as you possibly can. Seriously, yesterday would have been great. Time is the secret fuel for the compounding engine. So in the end, this story isn't really about a firefighter, is it? It's about you. It's about your goals, your future, and your choices. The question isn't, is it possible anymore? We know it is. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Thanks for watching.